An all-new season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Mom Talk has just been blowing up.
Whitney and Jen are on Dancing with the Stars.
Taylor is a bachelorette.
Saying that out loud is crazy. Like, that is huge.
But all the cool opportunities could pull us apart.
It's causing issues in everyone's marriage.
My whole world is falling apart right now. It's chaos.
Watch the Hulu original series, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
With the Dallas Goedert extension official, where do the Eagles stand? Let's do a quick recap. Let's lock in. Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, jointly produced by the Eagles Pinpole Podcast Network and the STT Sports Network on YouTube. Guys, make sure you hit the buttons, as I say every day. Like, share, follow, subscribe, whichever platform you're watching on, whichever format you're watching. Hitting those buttons, it's free to do, and it helps support these two great channels continue their growth and continue their takeover of Philadelphia Sports Talk. Guys, I'm Phil Stiefel, and we got two main topics today. We got to see where the Eagles stand, right? Where they stand and what's going forward. And then, obviously, there's another little thing we're going to talk about at the end, the retirement of a legendary Philadelphia Eagle. All right, so obviously on Sunday, we've already talked about it. The Eagles did finally re-sign Dallas Goedert to a one-year, $7 million contract. We do now know the Eagles have approximately $40 million in cap space. Now, I know Eagles fans are worried. The Eagles have lost 9 players in free agency. They've only brought 3 new ones in and re-signed, renegotiated, redid the contract of a few other guys. And there are some key holes still on this team. But it's March 16th, March 17th, depending on when you're listening to this. There's a long way to go. We are still weeks away from the draft. There's still a long way to go till September kickoff, week 1. And we know Howie Roseman never stops working. Howie Roseman always keeps his ear on the phone, keeps talking to people, keeps trying to improve this team. So where are we now? So far this offseason, we lost Jalen Phillips, Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, Sam Howell, Azeez Ojulari, Josh Uche, and Kylan Granson, right? There are guys. Now, Jalen Phillips, by the way, a little side note, definitely sounds like he just went for the bag. He didn't pick the best situation for himself. He just went with who offered him the most money. That's fine. That's it. That's his right. And a couple of those guys, Phillips, Dean, and Reed, are big players to replace. What have the Eagles done so far? They've obviously gotten the huge extension with Jordan Davis done. Big deal because that freed up a lot of cap space. Obviously, bringing in Reek Woolen to upgrade cornerback too. Massive move. Getting the Dallas Goedert deal done. The other things, Johnny Mund, Grant Calcaterra, Braden Mann, Michael Carter. They're all the things Howie has done. Landon Dickerson, Arnold Beketai. I still haven't figured out how to say his name. They've done some things, right? So where does that leave the Eagles? The Eagles still have 4 big things to address between now and the draft and then during the draft. Obviously, in my opinion, I'm going to give you my rank. Edge is still the biggest issue. This is not a knock on Beketai, okay? But what it is he's a rotational guy. He's your 4th guy, right? You got Nolan Smith. You've got Jalix Hunt. You still need one more person. Whether Jonathan Grenard gets, traded here or not, I'm focusing that's my top priority in the draft. Whether you get it first, second round, whatever, they need to add more talent there. Obviously, safety is still a major issue. That's number 2 on my biggest needs, right? You have only Michael Carter if they transition him there, Sidney Brown and Drew Makuba there. It's a big gaping hole. But the Eagles have survived over the last 5-6 years with Reed Blankenship, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Marcus Epps, rookies, piecing together safety with the defense of system that Vic Fangio runs, and with Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and now Reek Woolen as your cornerbacks, you can get by with decent play at safety. So whether they bring back Marcus Epps or not, and whether they draft somebody in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round, that's to be determined. They've never drafted a safety in the 1st round, I believe, the Eagles. So that's something there. Next biggest issue to me, not offensive line depth, but wide receiver 3. You still don't got a third wide receiver. And Sean Mannion's new offensive system, you're going to need somebody that can stretch the field. We haven't had that fast guy that can take the top off or put that fear in defenses for a while, which opens things up for A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, etc. So, wide receiver 3, I would not be shocked if there's a pick in the first couple rounds spent on wide receiver. Offensive line depth is obviously the fourth biggest issue because, yes, the offensive line depth. The starters are there, right? The question is, will they be healthy? And if they're not healthy, you've got to have higher quality guys that can step in and play. Losing Brett Totham at Pryor, as I've said, it's a plus losing those. But you don't have bodies there now. You can't count on Willie Lampkin, Drew Kendall, Holland Pierce, and Cam Williams to step in yet. They haven't shown that development. And you need guys that are going to be able to handle whatever Chris Cooper's new offensive line style is going to be in Sean Mannion's offense. And then my fifth and my top 5 is more safety help because there's just not enough bodies there. But that's where the Eagles stand right now. And they have $40 million in cap space. The A.J. Brown drama is going to loom. I did a Google search on YouTube just a few minutes ago. I just typed in Eagles, hit search. And 9 of the first 10 videos were still A.J. Brown drama. Recent videos, like within the last few hours, on A.J. Brown talk because that's all anybody talks about. But I'm going to push that aside. When that happens, that happens. But that's where we stand at this point. We've got the cap space. We can make moves. We got plenty of draft picks over the next 2 years. Whatever Howie has faith or does, I have faith in him. And I need Eagles fans to remember, relax. Nothing to worry about today, okay? Nothing to worry about right now. The Eagles are still elite. They're still the class of the NFC East, and they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFC, and they're going to make another strong run to the Super Bowl. Other breaking news on Monday, Darius Slay, okay? 13-year NFL vet, 35 years old, calls it a career. I talked about it yesterday on Checkdown, that he only would play for the Eagles, but the Bills do own his rights. So he's just hanging it up. He is a former second-round pick, 36 overall in 2017, played 7 years in Detroit, 5 years with the Eagles, and then last year with Pittsburgh before getting waived. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler. He did make an All-Pro first team once, and arguably one of the greatest trades in Eagles history. They traded a third and fifth round pick in 2020, number 85 and 166 overall, to get a guy. And Darius Slay was elite here in Philadelphia. He brought a certain kind of vibe to the defense, a little intensity, a little personality, locking down guys like Justin Jefferson. That one game where he gave up a whole 7 yards to Jefferson. He helped us win a Super Bowl, okay? The guy is one of the greatest cornerbacks in Eagles history. He will be a future Wall of Famer, ring a circle, whatever the Eagles Wall of Fame is called or Hall of Fame is called. He'll be a part of that at some point. And he was just something, a swagger about him. And not just that, on the field, off the field, he and his wife, Jen Williams, one of the greatest Eagles couples in Philadelphia sports history. What they did for the community, their outreach to the fan base, and how much they embraced us, and we embraced them, especially with the bread pudding. I mean, it's just, it was special to get to watch Darius Slay. And I don't know if Howie Roseman gets enough credit. He gets credit, but I don't know if he gets enough credit for pulling off that trade in 2020. Again, mind you, that happened on like March 20th. We're not even at March 20th yet. And we pulled in an all-pro cornerback at that point. Another reason not to worry about where the Eagles roster is today on March 16th, 17th. Things take time, right? But it was just such a special thing. He had 28 interceptions in his career. One of the greats of all time. I don't know if he'll be a Hall of Famer. Maybe, maybe not. Cornerbacks are tough to get in the Hall of Fame. But the guy was one of the best in Eagles history. So congratulations to Darius Slay to close this show out on a well-deserved retirement. Now go spend some time with Jen. Go do what you got to do. Whatever's next, I'm sure you will succeed at it. Thank you very much for 5 great years in Philadelphia, and thank you very much for a great career. Everybody have a great day here on the Eagles Checkdown. I am Phil Stiefel. Go Birds, and bubbles up.